Welcome to I'm Your Target Demographic. It's Friday, which means it's fight day. And today we have Black Tom Cassidy versus the Creeper. For this match, we're giving them preparation time and ideally a kill match, but if they could somehow incapacitate or stop the other person, basically permanently, that could count. So let's start with Black Tom Cassidy. When the comics began and he was introduced, his power was basically to use wood as a energy source. Almost was able to create these concussive blasts. This evolved into him being injured and being kind of like wood was incorporated into him. This eventually became his whole body was kind of taken over with wood, or when he would get injured, it would regenerate and it would be this wood plant material. And then it evolved to eventually him sometimes being completely like a plant, and he could control plant life. He could kind of grow really large and be really strong. He could control vines. He could even create clones and copies of people. Because he was also made of this vine plant stuff, he also had an incredible healing factor, which means he could lose limbs, he could be torn apart, and he could come back together. And in rare instances, he was actually able to kind of suck the life force from other people. This was rare, but something he has been shown to do. Now let's compare this to DC's Creeper. And Jack Ryder is his name, and he was a anchorman, like a news personality. And he took this serum that was supposed to basically make him indestructible, and it was supposed to regenerate limbs and wounds and stuff. And so it gave him this incredible healing factor from which he is able to regenerate from massive injuries and potentially even death. Like there's been instances where he was supposedly dead and he came back to life. Offensively, he doesn't have a lot of abilities. A lot of it is agility, and so he'll jump around. And he has minor strength, stronger than a normal person is, but he doesn't have any sort of energy blast. He doesn't have much offensively. He's had a few run-ins with the Joker, and he's actually compared to the Joker a lot because he has that same kind of maniacal personality, and he laughs and cackles, and sometimes this even hurts people to listen to, and he is very intimidating, using this unpredictability to kind of scare people. So our match this week is really Black Tom, who's able to control plants and regenerate, versus the Creeper, who's also able to regenerate, doesn't have plants, but he is bouncing around, and his healing factor is likely stronger because he's been dead and came back. So the question here is, what would happen if these two villains face off? They have prep time, they know about each other. What would happen? Creeper is at a disadvantage, but Black Tom may not have the ability to actually kill him. So what do you think would happen if these two crossed paths? Let me know in the comments, which leads to talking about last week. So last week we had Taskmaster versus Prometheus. It was almost across the board unanimous that Prometheus was going to take it. And here's an example of why. Matthew Walker says this: "Hell yeah, this was one of my suggestions. I think Prometheus would win because while Taskmaster could adapt to Prometheus' fighting style, Prometheus, as an expert strategist, as well as with the help of his tech, would figure this out, and in turn develop a multitude of strategies to take down Taskmaster. On top of that, his suit and ability to turn any nearby object into a weapon would prove too unpredictable and would give him an edge that Taskmaster couldn't handle. It would be a great fight to witness." And the Phantasm said what he said. So it's pretty clear Prometheus would take it, but it would be a good fight. So thanks for all your suggestions, and get down to the comments and let's talk about Black Tom and the Creeper. We'll see you next week on Comic Fights.